The creepy shadow, stopwatch equals. A dimly lit room in an old, abandoned house. Dust particles float in the air, creating an eerie atmosphere. The sound of creaking floorboards echoes through the space. James, a young man in his 20s, nervously explores the room with a flashlight in hand. He wears a look of determination mixed with fear. The room is cluttered with broken furniture and cobwebs. James, whispering to himself, "Just a quick look around, and I'll be out of here." As James scans the room, his flashlight beam illuminates a tall, dark figure cast against the wall. It appears to be a shadow, but there is no visible source. James, startled. "What the?" The shadow seems to move independently, swaying back and forth as if it has a life of its own. James's heart races, and he takes a step back, his eyes fixed on the eerie phenomenon. James, muttering, "This can't be real. It's just a trick of the light." James tries to shake off the feeling of unease and continues exploring the room. However, the shadow follows his every move, growing larger and more menacing. James makes his way down a dark hallway, his footsteps echoing. The shadow elongates, stretching towards him as if reaching out with malicious intent. James, in a trembling voice, "Stay calm. It's just a shadow. It can't hurt you." But deep down, James knows there's something more to this shadow. It feels malevolent, as if it wants to consume him. James enters a bedroom, hoping to find refuge from the haunting shadow. He closes the door behind him, but the room is pitch black, save for the faint moonlight seeping through the tattered curtains. Suddenly, the shadow materializes in front of James, its form taking on a grotesque shape. It lunges at him, and he screams, stumbling backward. James, desperate, "Leave me alone." James fumbles in the darkness, searching for anything that can help him. His hand lands on a table, and he finds a small box of matches. He strikes a match, and the room is momentarily illuminated. To his horror, he sees multiple shadows dancing around him, their twisted figures contorting with each flicker of light. James, whispering, "What do you want from me?" As the last match burns out, the room plunges into darkness once again. James is left defenseless against the encroaching shadows. Inked. Old abandoned house, living room, night. James stumbles back into the living room, his fear reaching its peak. The shadows surround him, closing in. He can feel their cold presence enveloping him. Suddenly, a beam of sunlight breaks through a crack in the boarded-up window, casting a bright light across the room. The shadows recoil, hissing in agony. James, realization. Light, they fear the light. James musters all his strength and rushes toward the sunlight. As he steps into the beam, the shadows shrink back, dissipating into thin air. James emerges from the house, his face covered in dirt and sweat. He looks back at the dilapidated structure, relieved to have escaped its clutches. James, whispering, "I won't let darkness consume me. I'll always seek the light." James walks away, determined to leave the horrors of the shadow behind.